Welcome to the Blitz, the show brought to you by Comic Blitz, the only comics app that brings you all-you-can-read digital comics. Comic Blitz offers thousands of digital comics and graphic novels and hundreds of free comics from publishers such as IDW, Valiant Entertainment, Top Cow, Dynamite, Action Lab, and more. Sign up for an unlimited comic subscription today at comicblitz.com or get started by reading any of our free digital comics. And now, on to the show. Hey guys, welcome to the Blitz. My name is Jordan Plosky. I'm the co-founder of Comic Blitz. With me today is
Dan Gvozden, content manager of Comic Blitz.
Yeah, there we go. Also, tell them about your podcast that you have going on as well. Dan.
Yeah, I do. I have a podcast called The Amazing Spider Talk. It's all about Spider-Man stuff, so if you like Spider-Man, go check out The Amazing Spider Talk.
Yeah, so this episode is going to be a little bit more about what Comic Blitz is, what we do, what we have on board the platform, why we are what we are. So we can get right into it. And just talk about some of the stuff that we've done recently on the Comic Blitz platform. So just last week, we actually wrapped up the entire series of Imperium. If you've been a fan of Harbinger from Valiant Comics, it ran its entire 25-issue course through its first series called Harbinger, went out to Harbinger Omegas, and then into Imperium, which featured supervillain Toyo Harada. So. Yeah. That just wrapped up on the Comic Blitz platform. We have all 16 issues of that, so you could go check that out. We have the new James Bond series.
Yeah, the Hammerhead.
Hammerhead by Van Jensen. Also Betty Boop #1 on the platform. We still have more Transformers stuff coming, more G.I. Joe stuff coming, more Star Trek content coming.
Yeah, we have Khan ruling in hell, which is fun.
Khan!
If you like your Khan books, that's the one to check out.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think we even have Transformers vs. G.I. Joe on the platform.
Yeah.
I admit I haven't checked that one out yet, but I'm really looking forward to it, especially, is there movie news and rumors about a Transformers G.I. Joe live action movie?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if there was. I mean, Hasbro's got all these, properties, and
True.
And the franchise universe thing is the new,
Absolutely.
all the rage, so.
Well,
yeah.
I know Transformers movies do really well at the box office, but G.I. Joe kind of not so much.
Yeah, I don't think it was that huge of a hit, but
All right.
Yeah, I think Transformers is. I mean, they got what the Dark Knight or whatever it is, or I don't keep. up with
Dark
them.
Side of the Moon.
No, they already did that. They already did that one. They're just gonna go through the whole Pink Floyd record set.
Totally.
Yeah, there you go.
Name each different Transformers movie.
Yeah.
A different Pink Floyd record.
Yeah, Transformers: The Wall.
I like it.
Yeah.
Another brick in the wall. What are you reading anything right now, either in general in the world of comics or off the Comic Blitz app?
Yeah, well, so from the Comic Blitz app, I've been reading Exo Manowar because it's so critically acclaimed, and I'm not as big of a Valiant nut as you are.
I happen to know a lot about Valiant.
You know a lot about Valiant, and I thought no better place to start than Exo Manowar, and it's kind of been it makes sense. You don't need to know anything else about Valiant, I don't really think, to read that. And so it's been a good kind of entry point for me in terms of getting into Valiant content.
Well, I'll tell you, you don't need to know anything because Exo Manowar was the first series released when Valiant came back out in 2012. So when they relaunched, Exo Manowar was the first series back out. So that is definitely the introductory point to the entire Valiant universe on the Comic Blitz app.
You were just hitting me with the knowledge hammer. Just
BAM!
There you go.
All right.
I'm also reading Paper Girls. Have you read this?
I read the first issue. I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
The twist ending almost wasn't for me. Like, I love Brian K. Vaughan and everything he does, but again, I don't want to spoil it. But yeah, the twist ending.
It gets flushed out as it goes on.
All right, that makes sense.
I would recommend giving it another look. But my favorite book I'm reading right now is The Fix from Nick Spencer and Steve Lieber. Are you reading this book?
I am. I might be an issue behind or so. But
okay.
Yeah. Number one, Steve Lieber is a genius.
Genius.
Yeah. The things that he does with art and storytelling with his art and some of those word balloons. Although, with the word balloons, like when he has all those little symbols, is that a Steve Lieber thing or is that a letterer thing?
I think it's a Steve Lieber thing. I had Nick Spencer and Steve Lieber on my podcast after they did Superior Foes of Spider-Man, and they had never talked before, ever. So on our show was the first time that they ever met.
So they did a whole series together without ever talking.
That blows my mind because they're so in sync with their humor and their storytelling that they have never communicated. Like, he would literally just send the script to Steve Lieber and he would draw it. But it seems like two geniuses sitting down in a room together coming up with something. So that was impressive to me, and now the fix is a thing, and I take full credit for it because
You brought the two lovers together.
Right, exactly. Yeah. What about you? What are you reading?
You know, I always go back to Lola XOXO.
Okay.
So from Aspen Comics, Sia Oum is the creator, and she's actually, she just won, I might not get this right, the DC New Talent Contest?
Yeah.
So she was one of the artists selected to now become a DC artist.
That's great.
So she has a series from Aspen Comics called Lola XOXO. It's kind of like a post-apocalyptic world focused on this one girl, Lola. The artwork is stunningly gorgeous. I mean, the story is great too, but the artwork really stands out on that. She's actually done some variant cover artwork for Marvel, I think some Spider-Gwen stuff.
Okay,
so it's really cool for like one of the big two to really recognize what she's doing and pick her up as a full-timer. I'm not sure if they assigned titles yet to some of these creators.
No, I think they have a whole workshop they have to go through and stuff like that.
All right, but yeah, so she was one that was selected, and her work is great. There's 2 series that we have on the Comic Blitz app that even if you're not a comic fan, like the artwork is just so gorgeous that it's easy to go there. But one of my all-time favorite series.
Okay.
And I think we were going to maybe get into this a little bit later, but I mean, I'll just say it right now, is The Boys.
Yeah.
So regardless of the fact that it's on the platform that we have it, you could read the entire series, 72 issues of The Boys. You could read the spin-offs that we have. There's 3 different spin-offs from The Boys. That series, written by Garth Ennis, artwork by Derek Robertson, and a little bit by Russ Braun, was like a fill-in artist on that series, is one of the most incredible comic books I've ever read. It's actually getting turned into TV shows.
Yeah, I had heard that.
So Seth Rogen, his partner Evan Goldberg, the guys behind Preacher on AMC,
which I have not heard much about since its release. There was a lot of buzz around it, and then I feel like I have not heard much about it.
So what I heard about this series is that this first season, short season, maybe 6 or 8 episodes or something like that, was more of like an introduction.
Okay.
And like at the end of episode 8, apparently, because I haven't seen it, I'm waiting for it on Netflix.
Right.
No cable. I'm a streaming guy.
I'm the same way.
Yeah. But that apparently it was almost like a prelude to issue 1 of the comic.
Oh, interesting.
I could be wrong about that, but that's what I heard. There's all just one large setup for what's really going to happen in the story.
Okay.
So that creative team, the guys that brought Preacher to AMC, are bringing The Boys to, I want to say, Showtime.
Okay.
Now, more than just being the same creative team on the TV side, they're both Garth Ennis books.
Yeah.
And R.I.P. Steve Dillon.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. What an amazing talent. We're a little behind on that
Punisher
one, but
stuff,
yeah,
but yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, so The Boys is. Think about if you had superpowers, right? I know that your ideal is that you would probably say, I would be like Superman, and I would be the Boy Scout, and I would be helping people all the time and putting my own personal stuff aside. Exactly.
I would be a villain, absolutely.
These aren't necessarily villains. I mean, there's absolutely villains in the comic. Have you read it yet or no?
No, I've not.
Oh my God, you have to.
I know,
Dan,
I know.
Dan, read The Boys.
It's on my ever-growing list of...
Ironically, one of the best characters in The Boys is named The Female.
Okay.
But she's... Oh my God, you have to read this book.
Okay, well, you're convincing me.
I know, but I haven't even said anything about it.
Well, I understand,
I don't
but your enthusiasm is infectious.
That's a good word. I am very enthusiastic about The Boys. The artwork is insanely good, but then it's also just, it really peels back this whole, superheroes have to be better than us kind of thing. I mean, there's debauchery, there's sex, there's drugs, there's mistakes that are made, and everything that goes along with it.
Sounds like my weekends,
yeah. Dan? Pretty proud of you, man.
All right.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that one up. But aside from what I like on the platform, what you like on the platform, I mean, we do have some of the top books that are currently on the platform right now that we could run through. Lock and Key by IDW, written by Joe Hill, and oh man, I'm going to blank on the artist's name now.
I'm going to blank on it too.
Yeah, and I apologize for that. I don't want to be one of those people that only credits the writer.
No, I know.
It is Joe Hill's book.
Yeah.
And it's one of our top books on the platform right now. A ton of people seem to be reading it. It's by IDW Books. We have volumes 1 and 2. I want to say that we have about 300 pages of reading material. Rodriguez?
Gabriel Rodriguez. Yeah.
All right, I got the last name right.
You got it.
Cool. But yeah, this is one of those books that kind of transcends comics. Like, even if you talk to some people who are not necessarily comic readers, they've either heard of Lock and Key or they've read Lock and Key. It's one of those, like, sagas or Watchmen or Why the Last Man.
I just reread it this week, actually. I mean, it's only 6, trades. So it's
Sure.
like, what's that, 30 comics about? 36 comics?
Right around there, yeah.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, like, you can just sit down in a day and you won't want to stop reading it.
It's true.
It's the kind of book where you read it and you're like, this writer is so much smarter than me. Like, you feel kind of ashamed when you're reading it, because you're like, oh, he tricked me again. How did he think of that? Like, every other issue is some brilliant new idea and concept. Yeah.
I don't know a ton about him, but I think he writes movies and TV as well. So I think
Yeah.
he's working all those muscles. It's not just comics. So I think he's got some tricks up his sleeves
Right.
that maybe some other comic writers don't necessarily have.
He did a recent Stephen King adaptation, I believe.
Okay.
So anyway, he's a really talented guy.
Yeah, and for Lock and Key on IDW is definitely one of those standout creator-owned books on IDW.
Yeah.
I mean, IDW most notably for Transformers, G.I. Joe, Star Trek, the licensed properties. My Little Pony is another
Right.
huge one. But for Lock and Key to still rank amongst all those books, not necessarily just on the Comic Blitz app, but in the comics world in general. I mean, the prestige of Lock and Key is...
They tried to make it into a TV show several years ago, but they didn't get past the pilot, unfortunately. But it feels like the kind of thing where you could like keep returning to it and trying to make something out of it.
I'm sure in the near future we will see a Lock and Key either TV show or movie. I would hope a TV. I would hope a TV show. I think for most comics, I think you want to see a TV show because I think that the single issues kind of mirror, an episodic type of experience.
I feel the same way. Yeah.
So I would love to see that on the small screen. Absolutely. Also, a huge book for us. The top Valiant book, again, my people's, the Valiant crew. Divinity is a huge book. So Divinity is probably the most powerful character in the shared Valiant universe right now. Have you checked out Divinity?
No, it was the one I was going to bring up later on the show.
Okay, well,
let's talk about it now. Yeah. I loved Divinity is what I read after Exo Man of War. And I feel like you don't even like Exo Man of War. I don't think you need to know much about the Valiant universe to read it. It starts the story of what's the guy's name? Something Ames.
Abrams.
Abram Adams.
Yeah. Always going with the alliteration.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. And I'm sure Matt Kent, who wrote it, knows all about that stuff. But he's a Russian astronaut that goes out in this experimental space program and gets his entire atomic structure, I guess, rewritten.
So he kind of, if you remember the early Valiant stuff from the 90s,
sure,
there was a character called Solar, Man of the Atom. And in a licensed war for some of the properties, when Valiant went under, so this is a little history lesson on Valiant.
Yeah,
for
go
people.
for it. This is interesting.
So when Valiant went out of business, they were actually owned by Acclaim Video Games, right? They dropped the line. I don't know. I guess Acclaim is still in business as a video game company or not.
I don't really think they are.
I don't know. So maybe they went out of business, and that IP went up for auction.
Yeah.
And Magnus Robot Fighter, Solar Man of the Atom, Turok, Dinosaur Hunter, are all owned by another company called Gold Key Comics.
Yeah.
So those three kind of reverted to Gold Key. Gold Key sold the license to Dynamite.
Yeah.
So we have new Magnus and Solar and Turok books on the platform because they've come out. However, they didn't come out through Valiant Comics. Solar was this sort of, who could I compare him to? He's not like a Superman. He's
like a Dr. Manhattan?
That's an excellent comparison. So the rebooted Valiant universe was kind of at a loss for that all-powerful, omnipotent sort of being, and they created Divinity to sort of fill that gap. And Divinity, messes with time, space,
Well, that's what I love about this series is like the visuals are incredible. Like, even just how he uses his powers to manipulate time, space.
Yeah.
Like there's a floating ball of land that they discover, that he's on, where he's bringing back like memories, like and people from the dead, and doing all these crazy psychedelic things. It's almost like Doctor Strange in some ways, or Dr. Manhattan's like Mars platform. He's doing all kinds of crazy experiments as his own kind of mind is a bit addled,
from his experience out in deep space and what happens to him there.
And all the heroes from the Valiant universe show up, like the Avengers team that they are.
They're called Unity.
Right,
so,
the Unity team.
That's the Valiant equivalent.
And they go after him, and it's a great book, and the storytelling is great, but the visuals are
Sure.
on a whole other level.
So that's artist is Trevor Harrisine on that
Yeah.
book. So all credit to him for bringing that up. But yeah, Matt Kint is
He's like one of the
crushing it,
big
yeah.
guys at Valiant. I mean, he like writes like half their titles.
Yeah,
it
I think
seems.
so, off the top of my head, I think Matt Kint writes Divinity. He's done
Divinity 2
Divinity
and
2.
3.
3 is coming out. They have all these tie-ins.
Yeah.
3 is called the Stalinverse. How appropriate for nowadays. But he also writes Ninjak, Rai. He wrote Unity as well. So yeah, he's handling like 3-4 titles at a time, just for Valiant. I know he's also writing Department
Mind
H.
Management.
That wrapped up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know he's writing Department H. I think is his latest.
He did a really bad Spider-Man title a little while ago.
What was it called?
Oh, what was it called?
Come on, Spider-Man.
Oh man, Spider-Man.
Don't worry, we'll find out another time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's.
It was really bad.
I love his Valiant work. I'll give him
No.
that. So,
I
yeah,
love everything that I've read of him except for this book.
Yeah,
so.
he's definitely one of the architects of the entire Valiant shared universe.
Yeah.
Moving on, one of the top books lately is Robin Hood from Zenescope Comics. So it's kind of a modern day twist on the fairy tale
Yeah.
of Robin Hood and his merry men, except Robin Hood is a woman.
Yeah.
Robyn. She is not unattractive, which is strange to say about a comic book character, but you know, there's something about her that's charismatic. She has a presence. She has one, a scarred eye, would you say? She has
Yeah.
one regular eye and another one that's almost like
that's
Cable,
right.
like Cable from X-Men.
Right. She's got the Anakin Skywalker
Scar
eye.
over her eye, but then
Yeah.
it's just a blank white eye.
Right,
So,
yeah.
An Archer as well, just like Green Arrow or
Sure,
Hawkeye.
sure.
But a world of developing characters around her and sort of
Part of the Grimm fairy tales universe.
well, that's what Zenescope is known for, right?
Right.
They've kind of taken all these public domain sort of characters and have brought them all together into sort of a shared universe, but like
Yeah.
maybe a little separate here, a little separate
Well,
there.
we're
but-
running the Age of Darkness right now, which is kind of
Yeah.
the like universe reshaping story that's happening. So that's been coming out on our platform for the past couple months.
Yeah, slowly dripping out like week
Well, it's
by
a lot
week.
of books.
Yeah,
it's
it
like
totally
at least
is.
60 books. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I didn't even know it was that many.
Yeah, it's huge.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of good stuff to read with Robin Hood and all the surrounding characters and different titles from Zenescope. One of our other big books, of course, Transformers: More Than Meets the Eye. So
Have you read this book?
I'm going to say something that's probably not going to go over very well, but I'm
Okay.
just not a big Transformers
No, I'm
fan.
not either. But here I'm going to sell this book to you.
Okay.
Because I had heard such good things about it, and I thought, like it was not a part of my life growing up. Transformers.
Sure.
I
know
think
what?
I just missed that window.
I was a GoBots guy.
You were a GoBots guy?
I know that's
like
also-
liking Digimon.
I don't know what that is, but
Okay.
but I was a GoBots fan. I know that sounds so dumb, but I thought that they were awesome.
Okay, well, I was not
He's gonna
really
hide
into
in
either,
shame
but I'm
now.
still going to judge you about the GoBots.
Thank you. All right, so tell me about this, because I have heard that More Than Meets the Eye is like the definitive best Transformers series out there.
Well, I mean, I think it's important that the title of it is More Than Meets the Eye, because like on the surface you would think, oh, it's just going to be a dumb robots punching each other series, but like each robot is really kind of representative of like a philosophical stance on on the world and what they do.
Okay.
And so like more of the issues are almost more about them arguing over philosophies and how they handle things than it is even about battling the Decepticons or anything like that.
Okay,
So
fair enough.
it's actually like fairly more adult than you could possibly think. Like I don't even know that I would recommend it to a child because they might get bored of it, but it's
All
very
right.
dialogue heavy in a really interesting way.
I appreciate the deep comics. I mean, like my tastes have changed as I've gotten older. I mean,
Yeah.
I do like that take on a universe. I mean, obviously we've seen them all beat up everyone that they can beat up. So now, like going a little bit more introspective, that works for me.
You wouldn't expect it from a Transformers comic, and
No,
I was
but-
similarly caught off guard by it.
Well,
yeah.
sold. I think.
Okay,
I can
you check it out.
Yeah,
check it out.
I
There's a
absolutely
reason it's
will.
this high on our list because people, I think, recognize that it's got a little more going on.
Yeah, I mean the whole series actually. I mean the 5 volumes that we have so far up on the platform, they're all in the top 20
Yeah,
that
yeah.
we have. So people are just cruising through those right now. So if
Sure.
you're looking for a good Transformers read, More Than Meets the Eye would be it. Also on the list of, let's say, top 10, top 20 sort of, we have a book from Abrams Art Books called The Age of Selfishness, Ayn Rand's Morality and the Financial Crisis. I couldn't really tell you much about it because it's not that the.
I can tell you all about it.
Oh, good, Dan. Let's hear it because
I mean,
I haven't checked it out yet.
I am so surprised that it is ranking this high because it is such a specific thing, and it could be that it's 266 pages long, which means people that are reading it are really reading it for
the whole thing, of
quite
course.
a while. But it's about Ayn Rand, you know, like the popular, I guess writer and the Fountainhead and all this stuff. And whether it's people that don't know anything about Ayn Rand want to learn about her life story and her beliefs, this is a bit more critical of her than say like a glowing piece on Ayn Rand. And not to get too political, I agree with most of the criticism.
Let's keep that out of it.
Right.
Now, yeah.
But it's a really interesting read about like her kind of history and troubled history and all this stuff. And it's more than just kind of like a dry biography about her.
Gotcha.
Comics help kind of smooth over those gaps, and maybe you don't want to read like a full like literary textbook about this.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I read it personally because I'm always interested in learning more about Ayn Rand, even if I don't agree with her opinions. You know?
I just love that you read Ayn Rand before you read The Boys.
Yeah. No,
you had the option. You could have gone either way. And you went
I
one
understand,
way.
but it was there and it was charting, and I thought to myself, what is this book that everybody is so ecstatic about? Like, I gotta check this out.
And it's been up there for the past couple of weeks. It's not just like a one-time thing.
No, and that means people are returning to it and recommending it. So
so this is another book that I was going to talk about later. I mean, it's funny that
let's just get into it now.
We kind of cruised through all the books that we were recommending. I mean, these are the books that people seem to be reading. But Faith by Valiant. So
I've read it too.
Faith is she's a hit. Not just in the Valiant universe, but in the world of comics now. She's kind of the first she's a real person, right? So she doesn't fit the stereotypical, like slim, trim, athletic type of person.
She's plus size superhero.
That's the word I was looking for. Plus size. Yeah, she's like a normal person on the street that happened to get superpowers. She's not a bodybuilder. She's not like a pro athlete. I mean, she's just a normal person that has the ability to fly. She's developing some more powers as the series goes on. She's kind of discovering herself. There was a spread in there. The story takes place in L.A. We live in L.A. Do you remember? Do you know the page I'm talking about?
Yeah, the highway over. Yeah, I was like, that's my city.
But what an amazing spread. That page was so.
I know exactly what you're
the art
talking
was
about.
Fantastic. I mean, so this book is written by Jody Hauser.
Yeah.
She's an L.A. native, and then also artwork. I want to say by Perry Perez or
I think
Perez.
You're right, yeah.
I don't necessarily. I think he lives in South America somewhere. But the point is, Jody Hauser is a female writer, and she's writing this amazing female character, and really, I think, tapping into her own geekiness, because some of the references in the book are just so spot on about like Serenity or Buffy the Vampire Slayer, or like anything Joss Whedon is like. The character Faith loves Joss Whedon and Star Wars, and like Captain Mal from Firefly is just like her favorite. So
one of the things I like about this book that I think has kind of become like a faux pas in superhero stories is the secret identity. Nobody has a secret identity anymore, but Faith has a secret identity, which is like a false identity. It's like an invented identity, even as a secret identity. It's an interesting pairing
because because the character of Faith is such a comic fan that she thinks that that's what you're supposed to do. Like she got all her information growing up from comics.
Right.
So she's modeling herself after Clark Kent. So she's putting on the Clark Kent costume to try to be a journalist and a reporter like Clark Kent. And then go out and do her superheroing at night and patrol the city and. I mean, the story is great. She's such a lovable character. They round out the cast with Archer from Archer and Armstrong.
They're dating now, yeah?
Yeah. That's continuing through even present day right now. So Faith, this is a mini series that we have on the platform, Faith 1 through 4. She has an ongoing series right now, and Archer is kind of a recurring character.
And we'll be getting that very soon.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, Faith, can't recommend it enough. I mean, I'm a dude and I love it. It's like the point is, it's not just for chicks. It's not just for women. It's not just for girls. I mean, this is a character that has a lot of heart. The writing is excellent. The artwork's fantastic. There's nothing to lose. Go check out Faith on Comic Blitz. And we can wrap out with Judge Dredd. I mean, I don't know how much we need to say about Judge Dredd. It's Judge Dredd. Dwayne Swarzynski, I think, is writing this series. also by IDW, and
Well, that was the real thing. Is like this is the first IDW Judge Dredd, and
Right.
there were a lot of people that were very critical and thinking that like
it's taken away from 2000 AD.
right, exactly. But this series is fabulous,
Yeah.
and I think it quickly put to rest everybody's fears about Judge Dredd
Coming
and,
over, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, really wonderful stuff.
Makes total sense. That's what's going on with Comic Blitz. That's what's on the app. There's always going to be more stuff coming, so check us out, comicblitz.com. We're on all iOS devices right now. We may have an announcement coming out for Android very, very soon, so check back here for next time. Dan, thank you for your time, and we'll catch you all soon. Hey guys, don't forget you can sign up on comicblitz.com. Visit us on social media, twitter.com/comicblitzapp, facebook.com/comicblitz, and instagram.com/comicblitz.